People talk about the best drafts in NHL history, the ones where we see dozens of players go on to become stars and excel at the next level. Most people first point to the 2003 entry draft, which included Marc-Andre Fleury, Eric Staal, Corey Perry, Zach Parise, and Ryan Getzlaf, among many others, as well as, more recently, the 2015 draft, which had the likes of Connor McDavid, Mitch Marner, Mikko Rantanen, Jack Eichel, and Kyle Connor, among others. The 2023 draft class could have a similar impact like the 03 and 2015, and could very well produce multiple superstars and many big-time NHL players. The projected top 4 in this upcoming draft all should be special players, but even the top 12 to 15 guys all look like they can be big impact players for their future NHL franchise. In this video, I'll be going over many of these top-end prospects and will try to show you why this draft could be one of the best in NHL history. Starting it off at the top, you have the undisputed number 1, who most think could be the next Crosby McDavid-like player, and it's Conor Bedard. I've made a couple videos about Bedard so far, so I won't talk too much about him in this, but he's obviously the complete package. He probably has the best shot we've ever seen from a player not yet in the NHL, and he also has fantastic vision and thinks the game so well. Whatever team ends up with him will be extremely happy, and he will likely accelerate their rebuild a great deal. At the number 2 spot, there is a debate on who should go here, as there's realistically 3 players who could. For me, I'd go with Adam Fantilli in this spot. Fantilli, the 6'2" center from Toronto, is playing for Michigan this year in the NCAA and is having a ridiculous season, similar to what we saw from Jack Eichel back in 2015. Fantilli is leading the nation in both points and points per game as an 18-year-old freshman and is a force on the ice. His next-level creativity, speed, and finishing ability will make him an amazing consolation prize for a team that doesn't get Bedard. The next guy on the board is another big center, 6'3" Swede Leo Carlsson, currently playing in the Swedish Elite League. Carlson is having a very strong year playing against very tough competition in a low-scoring league. The only U19 player with more points than Carlson is Red Wings prospect Marco Kasper, who was the top 10 pick in 2022. Carlson has what so many NHL teams are looking for, which is a big center who is also extremely skilled and can skate and finish very well. Our next man is a player who at one point could have been the top pick in this draft. It's elite Russian winger Matvei Michkov. Michkov has all the skill and scoring ability in the world, but the big issue with him is that he has a contract with one of the KHL teams through the 25-26 season. This will probably hold him back from going as high as 2, but I don't see any teams passing on him at the number 4 spot. He's too talented, and a lot of these teams are going through major rebuilds anyways. He's almost a surefire future superstar, an absolute stud. The next guy I think will come off the board at 5 is likely BC native, the 5'10" talented forward, Zach Benson. Benson has been getting better and better in each of his 3 seasons with the Winnipeg Ice and has not only been the best player on a very talented Ice team this year, but he's also second in WHL scoring behind only Conor Bedard. This guy has speed, skill, and fantastic playmaking ability and should be a great player in the NHL one day. Now we have the 6' center from the U.S. national team, Will Smith. The likely first American off the board is also an extremely skilled player that can skate well and has great playmaking and finishing ability. He's likely a few years away from NHL action, but he surely has a ton of potential to be a stud. There's certainly a debate on how the next picks will go, so they are really in no particular order for me. Braden Yeager is the next potential star, and he's currently playing for the Moose Jaw Warriors of the WHL. Yeager is most known for his fantastic shooting ability and reminds me a lot of a guy like Brock Besser. If he's put in the right situation, he could score quite a few goals in the NHL. Next is the first player likely drafted from the OHL, winger from the Owen Sound Attack, Colby Barlow. Barlow is a guy that scouts are loving right now because he has an NHL frame, can score goals at a high rate, and can play in really all situations up and down a lineup. He seems like the complete package, which is why he could very well be a top 10 pick in this incredibly deep draft. Dalibor Dvorsky is a Slovakian center who has a ton of talent and ability, but has fallen a little bit in the draft ranks since last year. He plays in the Swedish league Hockey Allsvenskan, but has also played a lot for Slovakian international play over the past few years. He has an unreal skill set and a rifle of a shot, So I'm sure many teams will look to take a chance on this kid who has a ton of star potential in his game. Edward Shala, the Czech native, is another player that seems to have amazing skill and ability. Some scouts are very high on him and others not as much, but similar to Dvorsky, this kid's skill set is special, and in the right situation, he certainly has star potential as well. The last guy I want to profile in this video is another player currently playing in the WHL right now for the Kelowna Rockets, Andrew Cristall. This guy is a really fun player to watch, and his highlight tape in terms of goals and plays is probably top 3 or 4 in this draft. He may be a little smaller, but I could certainly see this guy putting up a ton of points in the NHL. Some scouts love this kid. A few other names to keep an eye on include Ryan Leonard and Matthew Wood, who will likely both go top 15 as well. But as you can see, the top of this draft is absolutely loaded with skilled players and future stars. So let me know which guys are your favorites and which player you'd most want to see on your team if they get the chance to draft them.